Welcome to Aptitude for Placements, and my name is Ranjit. I have conducted this aptitude training program at various engineering colleges all over India, and every year thousands of students get placed by attending this aptitude training program. Here you will find all the questions that are commonly encountered in most of the aptitude tests. These are the questions that keep on repeating in many of these tests. So just familiarize yourself with all these questions and you will have a clear advantage when you attempt your actual placement test. Let's start. Two trains are moving in the same direction on two parallel tracks at speeds of 8 meter per second and 4 meter per second respectively. So two trains are there, train 1 and train 2. For the first one the speed is 8 meters per second. For the second one it is 4 meters per second. The first train passes a telephone post in 10 seconds. So this train requires 10 seconds. Whereas the second train passes the post in 20 seconds. Find the ratio of its lengths. So you have the basic formula, distance by speed gives you time. So we'll just substitute into this formula. Now to pass a telephone post, the train's own body length has to be moved. So distance to be moved is the train's own body length. For the first train, we'll consider the body length to be L. Distance by speed. Speed is 8 meters per second and the time required is 10 seconds. So from which you will get L1 is equal to 8 into 10, that is 80 meters. So that is the length of the first train. Now we will find out the length of the second train. We will take the length to be L2. Distance by speed. Its speed is 4 meters per second and the time required is 20 seconds. From which you will get L2 is equal to 4 into 20, 80 meters. So L1 is 80, L2 is also equal to 80. So L1 is to L2 is obtained as 80 is to 80, that is same as 1 is to 1. So the required ratio is 1 is to 1, that is option C. A 140 meter long train overtakes a 100 meter long train in 8 seconds. So we'll see how this overtaking occurs. Now 140 meter long train overtakes a 100 meter long train. So the 100 meter long train is a slow train. So I'll draw the train like this. So this is a slow train and it is 100 meters long. And this train is moving in this direction. And the 140 meter long train is the faster train. So this train is here. This is 140 meters long and this is the fast train. And they are both moving in the same direction. Because it is mentioned here it is overtaking. Now overtaking occurs only when they are both moving in the same direction. First we will find out the distance to be moved by the fast train to overtake the slow train. Now to overtake the slow train, first the length of the slow train, this 100 meters have to be moved. Then they will become equal. So first the length of the slow train, this 100 meters have to be moved. Then its own body length 140. Then this train will completely overtake the slow train. So distance to be moved is length of the slow train 100 plus its own body length 140 meters. Now you have the basic formula, distance by speed gives you time. This is a basic formula. So distance to be moved is 100 plus 140. Now speed is, they are both moving in the same direction. So relative velocity will be S2 minus S1. That is difference of their speeds. And the time required is 8 seconds. So time is 8 seconds. So this is the equation that we get. Now if the speed of the slower train is 10 meters per second, that is S1 is 10, then what is the speed of the faster train? So we'll just write down this equation here. 100 plus 140, that is 240 divided by S2 minus S1. S2 is what we need to find out. Speed of the slower train is 10. So S1 is 10. So distance by speed gives you time and that time is 8 seconds. I'll just bring 8 below and this to the other side. So 240 by 8 is equal to S2 minus 10. 8 divides 3 times, so this will be 30. 30 plus this 10, S2 is equal to 40. So 40 meters per second. That is the speed of the faster train. So what is the speed of the faster train? That is 40 meters per second, option B. A 120 meter long train overtakes an 80 meter long train in 10 seconds. So first we'll just see how that overtaking occurs. Now the 120 meter long train overtakes the 80 meter long train. So the 80 meter long train is a slow train. So I'll just mark it here. So this is a slow train and that is 80 meters long. It is moving in this direction and the 120 meter long train is going to overtake this train. So the 120 meter long train is here and this is the fast train, and both the trains are moving in the same direction because here it is mentioned overtakes. Overtakes mean whenever overtaking occurs, you should know that they are both moving in the same direction. Only then can overtaking occur. So first we'll find out the distance moved by the fast train. Now to overtake this train, first the length of the slow train, this 80 meters have to be moved. Then they will become equal. Then its own body length 120 meters. So distance to be moved is first the length of the slow train, this 80 meters, then they will become equal. Then its own body length 120 meters. So distance to be moved is 80 plus this 120. And you have the basic formula, distance by speed gives you time. Now they are both moving in the same direction, so relative velocity will be the difference of their speeds, that is S2 minus S1. And the time required is 10 seconds. Distance by speed gives you time, that is 10 seconds. Now the question is, if the speed of the slower train is 20, that is S1 is 20, then what is the speed of the faster train? That is S2 is what we need to find out. So we'll substitute S1 is equal to 20. So 80 plus 120 is 200 by S2 minus S1. S1 is 20 and that is equal to 10. So I'll just bring 10 here and S2 minus 20 to the other side. So 200 by 10 is equal to S2 minus 20. 0 and 0 cancels out. So you will get S2 is equal to 20 plus this 20, 40. So 40 meters per second. That is the speed of the faster train. So what is the speed of the faster train? S2 is 40. That is option B. Two trains of lengths 100 meter and 200 meter run on parallel tracks. When they run in the same direction, it takes 20 seconds for the faster train to overtake the slower train. So first we'll see how the overtaking occurs. So this is the slow train and this is the fast train. Now when it is overtaking, you can see that they are both moving in the same direction. Now to overtake the slow train, first the length of the slow train has to be moved. Then they will become equal. Then its own body length. So first the length of the slow train, then its own body length. So distance to be moved will be 100 plus 200. 300 is the distance to be moved. And when they are both moving in the same direction, relative velocity will be S2 minus S1. And the time required is 20 seconds. So this is the first equation that we get. Now we'll see what happens when they are moving in opposite directions. They are going to cross each other. So this is the fast train and this is the slow train. Now they are moving in opposite directions. Again to cross each other, again 100 plus 200, 300 has to be moved. And their relative velocity will be S1 plus S2. And the time required is only 10 seconds. So these are the two equations. Now from these two equations, we have to find out the value of S1 and S2. Now here 100 plus 200, 300. So 300 by 20, that is equal to S2 minus S1. And here we have 100 plus 200, 300. 300 by 10 is equal to S2 plus S1. So S2 plus S1, you will get it as 30. And here S2 minus S1, that is equal to, here 0 and 0 cancels out, 30 by 2 gives you 15. So adding them, you will get 2 S2 is equal to 30 plus 15, 45. Or S2 has to be 45 by 2, that is 22.5. So option C is the right answer. S2 you will get it as 45 by 2, 22.5. And let us calculate the value of S1 also. S2 is 22.5. 22.5 plus 7.5 gives you 30. So S1 is 7.5. So 22.5 and 7.5, option C. Two trains of lengths 25 meter and 75 meter run on parallel tracks. When they move in the same direction, it takes 10 seconds for the faster train to overtake the slower train. So we'll see how that occurs. So this is a slow train and this is a fast train. And to overtake the slow train, they're both moving in the same direction. First, the length of the slow train has to be moved, then its own body length. Then the train will be completely ahead of the slow train, or the fast train will overtake this train. So to overtake this train, the total distance to be moved is 25 plus the 75. First, the length of the slower train plus its own body length. So distance to be moved is 25 plus 75. And they are both moving in the same direction, so relative velocity S2 minus S1, and the time required is 10 seconds. So this is the first equation. Now we'll see what happens when they are moving in opposite directions. So this is a fast train and this is a slow train, and they are moving in opposite directions. Now to cross each other, again the total distance to be moved will be the sum of their body lengths. So it will be 25 plus 75 divided by relative velocity S1 plus S2. And it takes a lesser time, only 5 seconds. So we'll just simplify this equation. 25 plus 75, 100. I'll just bring 10 to this side. So 100 by 10 is equal to S2 minus S1. Here 25 plus 75, 100. 100 by this 5 is equal to S1 plus S2. So using these two equations, we need to find their speeds S1 and S2. Then we can easily find the ratio of their speeds. Now here S2 minus S1, that is equal to 100 by 10, that is 10. S1 plus S2, that is S2 plus S1, that is equal to 100 by 5, that is 20. Now adding these two equations, you will get 2S2 is equal to 30, or S2 you will get it as 15. Now let us calculate the value of S1. S2 plus S1 is 20. S2 is 15, so S1 has to be 5. So that 15 plus 5 is 20. So their speeds are 15 and 5. That is, they are in the ratio 3:1. 15 is to 5 is same as 3:1. So the ratio of their speeds is 3:1, option B. Let me briefly explain how to prepare for your aptitude test. First of all, you need to familiarize yourself with all the questions that have been worked out here. These are the questions that keep on repeating in many of the aptitude tests. After that, you need to attempt practice tests. According to me, you need to attempt at least 10 practice tests before your actual placement test. Here, I will be giving you 10 practice tests, and these practice tests will be ideal for you to improve your test scores. The 10 practice tests are available at a cost of only rupees 200. So all that you need to do is make a payment of rupees 200, either through Google Pay or through PhonePe or through Paytm, and you will receive the 10 practice tests. The details of the payment comes next.